Hey there, amazing teachers! Have you ever wondered how to make your teaching easier, more effective, and less time consuming? Well, you're in the right place. In today's Immediate Immersion Live, I'm going to reveal the must-have tools for comprehension-based teaching that will transform your classroom experience. My name is Scott, and you're watching Immediate Immersion Live, where we're all about comprehension-based instruction in the modern language classroom. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And welcome back. How is everybody doing today? We're on a special night, Monday, and for the rest of September, we'll be on Mondays. I have adjunct duty on the next 3 Tuesdays. So I won't be available on Tuesdays, so we're doing it on Mondays for the rest of September. And then we'll be back to Tuesdays in October. So just a little bit of a heads up. Today we're going to be talking about some must-have tools that you can use that can really help you maximize CI and comprehensible input in your classroom and engage students. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat if you're watching this live. And if you're watching this on the replay, put them in the comments. I check back and I will answer any questions that you may have. If you find this helpful, it really does help us out if you like and subscribe and put a comment in. It lets YouTube know that this is something that it should be promoting to other teachers. If you want to share it with another teacher who might be benefit from it, please feel free to do so. It really does help us out. And another piece of housekeeping before I forget, we are starting our dynamic discipline course. We actually started last week. The class is recorded, so you can watch that. But if you're interested in actually participating with our dynamic discipline course, here is the link. It is 10 classes. Our next class is on Thursday. It helps you to learn ways to build relationships and build an effective classroom management plan so that you can spend more time teaching and less time managing your classroom. So if that's something that interests you, there's the link, imhim.us/discipline. You can register and participate in that. It is, as I said, 10 classes. We are doing most of our classes on Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And they are all recorded, so if you can't make it live, you can participate in the recording. With that, let's go ahead and get started. Let me get rid of this off the screen. Okay. So our first thing we're going to talk about is Quizlet. And let me go ahead and actually go to a screen share so you can see here. Let me go to the right spot. Open a browser. Let's move that here. Go to Quizlet.com. Let me log in before we get there. Oops. Okay, hold on one second. Log in. I didn't have a login with Google here. Close. Okay, now I can go ahead and show. So here is Quizlet. So you can get to it at Quizlet.com. And what's awesome about Quizlet is it's so versatile. And it changes all the time because I don't use this one as much as I used to use it when there were few limited tools out there. But what's really great about it is the different activities that it has. So for example, You can find, just like any of those apps like Gimkit or Kahoot, you can search for other people's sets that they have made. But I have, let's say I have one here for months. So I can click into it. I don't pay for Quizlet. This is one I don't pay for. So I use the free version. And they've taken away some of my the activities that I really liked. There was one they could drag and drop on top of the words, and then that would actually clear out. There was a race game where they had to actually spell the words before they fell off the screen. So they had lots of different things. But the main thing is the flashcards. So you can just start here by doing the flashcards, testing yourself by flipping them. Let's see. So if I click on it, it'll flip it. You can have them play the sound.
September.
Septiembre.
So they can hear what it's like. You can shuffle them. You can have it play automatically. So they can practice. But then I've always liked, when I gave it as assignment, I would give them the learn activity. And they've changed this over the time. But what I like about this is, let me just answer a couple of them. You answer, they go along. I'm going to get this one wrong deliberately. And then we're going to go through. I'm going to get this one wrong too, just for, you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. April, I'll get this one right. May, we'll get that one right. June, July. Now see what happens here? It's got a let's try again. So what I like about the learn activity is it adapts. It adapts to the student, and it practices the ones they got wrong more often. So now I'm going to try it. I'm going to get this one wrong. No, I'll get this one right. And then this one I'm going to get wrong again. I'm going to say it's enero. No worries. So there. So it's given me the stuff in here, and I can continue and go along. So it gives me my first round, but now it's going to go again. So March, I'm going to get it right this time. And now it's going to go back and review all of them for me. And I tell them they have to keep going until they get them all right. Okay. So they can keep on practicing this. So let's see. Let's do it one more time. Marzo, Mayo, Junio, Julio, Agosto, Septiembre, Octubre. Okay, and you see we're almost getting to the end there. We want to get all the way to that green line before they can stop. So let's do this again. Noviembre, Diciembre, Noviembre, Diciembre. They can pronounce it all the way. Now, once they get here, this is what I want them. So I tell them take a screenshot of this or to print this, and then that shows that they did the work. That's what I do for Quizlet. But there are different things. You can give them a test on it, and you can set up the test how you want. You can do the matching. And this is a little bit different than it used to be. I like the one that used to be able to drop and drag and drop. But I like to play this up on the screen with an iPad. so that they can actually do this. So I'm going to match this one with this one, and then this and this, and they can do it, and they can compete on time. And the kid who gets it on the fastest time, we keep track of that. So a lot of different things you can do with Quizlet. I really like the activity. As I said, I do not pay for using Quizlet at all. I use it just the way that it is. And it really does enhance the vocabulary retention and comprehension through the interactive study modes like flashcards and matching and games and quizzes. There's lots of things that you can do. Now, I know some people play Quizlet Live. I've never played that. I've really got to do that. People tell me it's a really fun activity, but I've never played it myself. So that's what I need to actually do, but I've never done that one before. I've done other things like Gimkits and Blukits and Kahoots live, but I've never done the Quizlet Live. So that's something I need to actually practice with. But this is a great app, free app. Look for sets that you can use. Make your own sets if you want. Save them. I've got lots of different sets that I use. Let's see, we clear here. And let's go here. Here's my library. Okay, that's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see my actual activities. Here are my flashcard sets. So you can see I've got lots of different things. And you can recycle, organize vocabulary, or I even have it like, you can see I have a novel here, Vida y Muerte en la Mata Salvatrucha. So it's not always just vocabulary. I have made questions that I can use on here. Vocabulary. So I've got, this is some vocabulary that's in there, but I can also ask questions. So I have some, this isn't the one that I had the questions in it. Let's go back to my library, flashcard sets. This might not be either. Let's see. Okay, yes. So these are just vocabulary, but I must have done them in Kahoot or something else where I've done actual questions about the novel that you can use. So lots of different ideas. Feel free to use them. Quizlet is a very versatile app, and it's free. They do have premium options for additional features, but as I said, I've never used those. Next, let's go to Google Forms. So here, I know you're all familiar with Google Forms. Let me see if I can find an old form. I've not used it so far this year, but let me see where I have one that I can do. Leaderboard. Okay, so here's one that I did as an exit ticket. So what I like to do is use it lots of times for exit tickets. You can use it for surveys. You can use it for quizzes, but I have a better tool for that. And assessment, same thing. I have a better tool for that. But one of the things I like to do for exit tickets is to tell me like 3 things you learned today, and I can do that in a Google form. But in this particular case, we were working on a story. And so I work a story in at least 2 days. Let me put my camera up. It's kind of weird not being able to see my face up here. So bear with me while I add my camera into this. There we go. Make myself a little bigger here. I don't like you guys just seeing me or just hearing my voice, not seeing me. So So as I said, I do the characters on 2 different days. So in the first day we work on the character and building out the character, and on the second day we build out the plot. So it works really, really well for me. Sometimes our plot goes 2 or 3 days, but generally that's my thing. I do build the character on day 1, and on day 2 we get the plot. So we get enough description about my character to get him going. We also give the character some type of an emotion, and then I ask them what the deepest, darkest secret is. So we established in this particular character for this particular class that they were hallucinating. So I don't know why they're hallucinating, so I asked them to tell me why they're hallucinating, and then I asked them what is the character's deepest, darkest secret. So I use this information then to come up with the story the next day. So it's a way for me to do that. So I can look at the different stories. So, and I can go and like you can see some inappropriate ones that I won't be doing. So because they were going to Taco Bell and got hit by a taco car in the drive-thru, I can use that one. Because they were running to the Krusty Krab and then they fell over and they hit their head, which has caused them to hallucinate from all the pain. Yep. Magic mountains, magic mushrooms. Nope, I wouldn't use that one. But see, I'm not having a kid shout this out in class. They're doing this on a Google form. I'm seeing them, and I'm going to choose which one I like the best. So I can keep on going through. Because he can't find his rainbow Crocs, he heard a pancake he was flipping. Sing Bitty Bitty Bum Bum. It drank too much vitamin water because he was beat up by a member of the hamburger gang. He or she hit their head on a wall. So I've got lots of things in here. And then the darkest, deepest secrets also can lend themselves to great stories. Like here was they love Panda Express better than Taco Bell because it comes with fortune cookies. They secretly wish they could be Squidward's terrible sounding but great looking clarinet. He is secretly a fork. The spatula hates food, which is bad because spatulas are usually used with food. That he likes licking the Crocs. He hates music. He steals Proface vitamin water. He works with the hot dog gang. So lots of different ideas. Let me see. I have a different one. So why is the knife scratchy? So that's what they decided his thing was going to be. And what's the knife's deepest, darkest secret? So I can go through. I can see here. Because the blood was all dry and he was making him or her itch, the knife was scratchy because it felt like being scratchy, so it became scratchy. Because the knife has a disease, it fell off a bridge and scratched itself, desperately trying to remember what happened. He fell in a pile of mosquitoes. Because it has chicken pox, because the blood was dry, it got a disease. I like the one about mosquitoes, so that's probably the one that I'll choose. They don't know which one I'm going to choose. I just ask leading questions to get there. And if someone picks this one and says it out of the air and says he fell in a pile of mosquitoes, I'm going to go, correcto, correcto. I kind of do that in an American accent, correcto. And if not, I'm going to go, clase, es obvio, it's obvious. He fell in a pile of mosquitoes. And then we've got the different things of deepest, darkest secrets that I can use. So we can figure this out, and I use Google Forms to do this. So Google Forms is a great way to figure out what's going to happen in the story, to figure out what's going to, like an exit ticket for a short, quick, formative assessment. I don't like, as I said, I don't like it to use for quizzes and assessments because I have something that works a little bit better. But this is Google Forms, and it's a great, great free resource that you can use. And it's so simple to set up and share with students. You just give them the code, or there can be a QR code if you're going to have them do it on their phones. It can be used for quick comprehension checks, feedback, like if you want to do a reflection question with multiple choice answers, and interactive activities. And it automatically collects and organizes the responses. As you can see, I can see all these responses. It's really easy for me to be able to see what I have, what my options are. It works really, really well. And when it's a multiple choice question, it puts it in a nice graph. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Puts it in a nice graph so that you can see what's going on with it there as well. And it's absolutely free because it comes with, it's absolutely free because it comes with a Google account, so you can just use it as you need. The next app I want to talk about is Edpuzzle. Now, I don't use Edpuzzle itself because I have an app that our school already pays for that has it built in. But since that is not readily available to everybody, we'll talk about Edpuzzle. I don't have an account with them, so we'll just talk about it here. But what Edpuzzle is you can attach a video from YouTube or somewhere else where you have copyright control. Keep that in mind. I know a lot of people like to use Sing Your Woolly videos, and unless you can find it openly available on YouTube, it's not allowed to be put on Edpuzzle. So just keep that in mind to respect the copyright of the video holders. But what it is, it's a tool for creating interactive video lessons. Now, we have done for years where we have made a lesson or comprehension questions based on videos. And the problem with just doing it that way is the kid does not have to watch the video and can just answer the questions and say they're done. Or they can fast forward through the video. But this allows us to embed questions into the videos, making them more engaging and more interactive. They can't just fast forward through them. They have to actually answer the questions as they go along. So before they can continue, they have to answer the question. And then they can go to the next part. They can rewatch that part of the video. And it provides some really great insights into students' understanding and engagement with the video. So it's really a great learning resource. It's very visual. It's self-paced by the students themselves. It's flexible. You can do it for any class, any grade level, any proficiency level, and it's bite-sized. It promotes deeper understanding and retention with micro lessons. So there's lots of different apps that can do this. Edpuzzle is the most known one that you can do, and it's just so many things that you can do with Edpuzzle. Now, it is free with a limit on the number of videos that you can store, but there are premium plans available for unlimited storage and additional features. And let's see if I can get there. So there's lots of different things that you can do. And just like anything else, you can search to find ones that are already created for you. The name I think is awful because it doesn't really tell you what it does. It doesn't even say video in there, and that's its main thing. So I don't like the name, but who am I? Let me see if I can get to pricing here. Here it is. Check our plans. So the basic is free. And you get 20 video lessons, access to Edpuzzle training courses, and selected Edpuzzle originals, and Teacher Assist, easy AI for teacher features like auto grading and the question generator. Okay? For your own lesson library without limits, it's $13.50 per month. And that is, you get unlimited storage space for video lessons, unlimited video uploads, unlimited screen recording, unlimited student projects and priority customer support, and unlimited use of Teacher Assist. So that's what most of us are going to get in there. And then, there's a custom plan that would be for if they're buying a school-wide license or a district-wide license. So that is Edpuzzle. Pixton.com is another one. And again, I used something else for this, but I wanted to find something that was interactive and that kids could do much more easily. And so this is what I found. So it's a web-based tool for creating comics and storyboards. Because our school pays for Canva, That's what I generally use for this. And they can animate the things, and they can find templates for storyboards, and they can find characters and create them. It's not as versatile as this is, but I don't have a plan for this to be able to use. And so this is very limited if you are going to be using it on the free version there. So they've got a lot of different things in here. So if we click on it, we can kind of see. So you can see what's going on. As you click on it, it changes the dialogue. It's changing the pictures. We can do this one. You can kind of see what's going on. So it's a little bit more interactive. And it engages students in creative storytelling, which narration is a really great way for them to learn a language and to engage with the language. And it's a lot of visual learning. And it offers a library of backgrounds and characters and props to create compelling narratives. Now, as I said, there is a free version with limited features, but it has affordable premium plans for full access. So let me show you that here. And I will go ahead and we'll make an account right here just so I can show you. But the annual price is $144. So that's what the price is if you're not going to pay, if you're going to, I'm just reading here to see if it's by student or by no. Okay, so so it allows for up to 150 students per teacher, and it's $144 to do it. Let me see if I go ahead and just create a really quick account. So we'll explore the comic maker. We're going to go new comic. Oh, I must have tried the free trial at one time and I don't have any more access. So this is kind of what I started making with a dog, and I have a background here, and the dog was lost. I didn't get much further in there. But you can do things, you can edit, you can make the things in there. So as I said, I don't use this very much because I'd rather spend my $144 on something else, because I wouldn't use this enough to justify that cost. I spend $199 a year on Senior Wooly, which is much more productive for me, and that's where I'm going to spend my money. My students already have access to Canva for free. Our school pays for accounts for that for all of them, so they can do simple storyboards in there enough. They don't have all the features as Pixton would have, but it's enough for me for the time that I use that I might do this 2 or 3 times a school year. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the chat or put them in your in the comments if you're watching on the replay. Now, this is our last app that we're going to talk about, and I absolutely love this. I pay for this out of pocket. And I think it's like $15 a month, something like that I pay. Formative.com. This is what I use for assessments, and you can even use it for practices. It's awesome. Now, there is a free version, and let me show you. Let's look at that before I go and log in here. Let me see where the pricing is. You can do the basics with the free version. Pricing, where is it? Pricing, see plans. Okay, so I'm on the silver plan. You can create unlimited lessons and assignments, real-time student tracking, create and manage classes, basic integrations, and embedding. They do limit the type of questions that you can do. They're very simple type of questions. You don't have all access to all the different types of questions. I pay monthly. It's $15 a month, and I stop my payment during the summertime since I don't have to pay for that then. And so I'm here. I get advanced question types, grading and feedback tools, and advanced assignment settings. So this is what I use. I don't use this big one here, the gold. This is a school-wide plan. So let me go to my dashboard. And they changed this over the summer. There's some things that have changed along the way. I have made, I have my classes in here. I have my kids sign up with their Google account, which gives me all their information. We can see the quizzes that they took. This is a bad example because a kid took a quiz, didn't take the quiz, and because he fell asleep. And so I forced it into, forced the answers, which all got wrong, and it lowered the average. Let me actually fix this here. And let's hide this. I don't want everybody to see their names. Actually, I can't do it right in here without showing the names. So I don't want to do that. But what I love about this, okay, let's first go here. You can make your different, what they call formatives. I have them grouped into different classes. Let me show you a couple here. So, so here is one that we did, practicing of a dialogue. So to prepare them for a book test that we are giving, I created this, and this is a drag and drop. So I made a dialogue. All these rectangles are drag and drops. Here are the answers, and they would drag and drop them in the right spot. So let me show you what it looks like to the student. So here's what it would look like to a student on a computer. So here they would see the question number 1. They see that they're all required. And let's see. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ana. ¿Y tú? Me llamo Pedro. Mucho gusto. Adiós. Hasta luego. And it doesn't grade them until they submit. But you see these types of things that I have in here. They've got lots of different ways that kids can interact. So let me just make a new one just for experimentation here. So if I create one, create a formative, you can add your instructions, you can add your tags, you can do all these different things. I generally go right here, and these are all of my questions that I can do. I am allowed all of these question types because I have the silver. If you don't have the silver, you're limited. I'm not sure which ones you're allowed. I know you can do multiple choice, but that's the one I for sure that you can do. I don't know what other ones you can do. I know drag and drop is an advanced one. But I can insert audio. I can embed something else, like an embed code. I can add an image, paired passages. I can put a slide in there. I can add text. I can add a video. The question types that my students can do, I can have them do an audio response where they click and record something, categorize something, the drag and drop, draw something, attach a file for a response, fill in the blanks, free response, graphing, a hotspot, hot text, inline choice, match table grid, matching, multiple choice, multiple selection, numeric, resequence. I use that one a lot for stories where they have to now put the story in order. Short answer, true and false, and a video response. They can record themselves taking a video. So I can do all of these types of things to make all these different types of questions. The ones I use the most are multiple choice, short answer. I don't do true and false because I just make them a multiple choice question. So that way the true and false are not always in the same order, so I can prevent kids from cheating. Oh, that's one feature you have to pay for, is to scramble the answer choices up. So I do that because every time they scroll, the answers recycle themselves and will change around. So it's really difficult for kids to copy. that way. But true and false relatively stay the same. So it's true and then false. So I just make a multiple choice, only two choices, true and false, and it rotates them around. I use video responses a lot of times, audio responses, but I prefer doing video, even if I only want audio, because I want to see what they're doing. If they're looking at something, I want to be able to see that, so I use that. Fill in the blank, I sometimes use, but not very much. So there's lots of different things here. I can make all these different types of questions. Some can be easily auto-graded, which I like. Others can't, like the short answer. The short answer cannot be easily graded, but as you grade, let me show you an example. Let me get rid of this. I don't want this one to say restore, delete items. I guess I got to do it from back here. Let's get rid of this one. Delete. So here, let me go down to the answer key. So I had to tell them, say the name in Spanish, and they had to write it out. So this is the correct answer. That's what I wrote in there as my correct answer. But as I was grading, and I gave partial credit, because it was 3 points for each question. So I gave partial credit here because it wasn't capitalized, so I gave 2 points. This kid didn't capitalize and spelled it wrong, so I gave 2 points. It asked me if I wanted to save this as a choice, so that the next kid who wrote Carlos without capitalizing it would automatically be graded for 2 points. So it helps when you do that. Here are some other options that came with Pepe. I only wrote the original answer, but then I got these 2 answers and I assigned these points and asked if I wanted to save those as partial point question answers. So I can do all of that. And it worked really, really well. But otherwise, you can manually grade. Now look, let me go to my reading quiz. So let's take a look at the reading quiz. And I'm not going to show any names. Let's make sure I close it. Let's responses. Okay, they're already closed. So you can see my period 1, Spanish 1, the average was 89%. My period 2 was 84. My overall was 85. So I get these statistics. I can see by questions that questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 were easy for my kids, and they did pretty well because they all scored over 80% on those questions. So here, overall, 88% of my students got it right. Number 2, 100% of my students got it right. Here, 96% of my students got it right. Here, 92% of my students. Question number 5 was problematic. So I need to go then, I can go and look and see what was the problem with question number 5. Was it that it was a bad question? What answers did they give me? All those things are really helpful. And question number 8 was also a really bad question. They didn't do well on that one. It was worse than number 5. So those 2 questions, I want to look back and see what the problem might have been. But here, and I can't show you without showing kids in there, but I can type a response back as I'm grading. I can put feedback right in there. And I can give the same feedback with 1 click to all the kids who got the same answer wrong. So if all my kids, let's say here, that on question number 8, let's say of the people who got it wrong, most of the kids picked B when it should have been C, whatever it is. So I can have it select all the kids who picked B, write 1 comment why B was the wrong answer, and click submit, and everybody gets that response. They can see it right away. Also on here, they can ask questions while they're taking the test digitally, like a text message, and I can see it here in my notifications up here. Okay, so I can see them all in here and make adjustments as I go. And I can answer their questions without, what am I trying to say? Make adjustments without, give them the answers back without giving any answers away to the test. There's so many things you can do here. You can assign them to only particular kids to take an assessment. You can give, what do we call it? Not adaptations. I can't think of the right word. But when you make adaptations to a test, scaffolding, when you're doing specific scaffolding, accommodations, that's the word I was looking for. You can put those in there for that particular student so everybody else gets it. So maybe this one kid gets multiple tries at it, where everybody else only gets one try at it. I can only open it to some students and not to others. I can open it during certain times automatically and close at certain times automatically. I can do it manually. There's lots of different things that I can do. So if I go here and I'm going to adjust settings, I can go in here. I can make it schedule open close time, schedule a due date, give a time limit, how many attempts, what if I want them to see the answers when they're done. Display each item as a separate page. I might do that for particular students who get bogged down when they see too much on a page. I never, for these types of, because it's a reading quiz or a listening quiz, I don't ever want them to randomize the question order. And it's a premium feature that I don't have. So it's not something I have anyways, but it's not something I would ever use. You can make a secure browser mode where they can't, it's a paid feature. I don't have that feature, but you can lock down the browser so they can't go anywhere else. You can add learning tools, which are calculators for math. You could put a password protect on it. I can do it for specific students. So here's my class code. I've got some students here, and I can make adjustments for each particular student that I need to make in there. I can assign to an individual, and here's those accommodations that I could do. So I can make an accommodation. Let's say if I were just going to pick this student, I can choose different accommodations that I can do it here. Text to speech, answer reduction. But again, these are in the gold feature, and I don't have that feature in there. But if I had that, I could do that thing. But I love this for data because I can look right here and I can go, let's see. Question number 5. Let's go back to our test. Let's go to C number 5. So this was the reading that they saw, and it was multiple choice. Let's go down to number 5. And it says, how old is Husna? 15 was the answer. And I can go back and look at the responses, the individual responses. Let's just, for just a sake, really quick. Okay, here. So I can see that this child put 14 down as the answer, what was wrong. And so I could say here, 14 is catorce and 15 is quince. And then I can send that to that child and it goes in there. That goes in there. And I can assign points if I want to override. I can assign the points right here and we can see those kinds of things in there. So it's very useful. It gives me lots of data that I can see. Also, what I love, if you make an error in the answer key, I change it in the edit. So I go here and I change the answer. It automatically regrades everybody's right away. So it's nice and easy. I don't have to go back and manually redo it. It will fix all of it right away. And you can see when I make my answer choices, I can put explanations in there. I can randomize the order, which is what I do. You can allow partial credit. You can have them show their work. You can make it required. You can add a hint. And then I assign standards. So this is the ACTFL standard 1.2, which is students can understand what they read and what they hear. So I have that in there. Now I like to do a screenshot of my text so kids can't copy and paste into a Google Translate. So it's much harder when it is an image. They can't do it so easily. If I just type text in there, which I can do, I don't do that because they can easily copy and paste and figure out what it means. So those are my tools that I like to use. And I said formative I use for so many things. It does not have to be assessments. I can do it for practices. And there's so many different types of questions and stuff that they can do. And I really, really, really love that app. It is something I do. I say I pay for this one out of my own pocket because it is so important for me. I absolutely, positively love it. So let me get to the right one because we have moved through all of these. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to let me know either in the chat or in the comments. It was great speaking with you. Next week, we will be meeting again on Monday. And let me see what we're going to be talking about. What is our topic next week? We're going to talk about some engagement strategies next week. So next week, Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you all there. Remember, if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out and get us out to more people. And with that, I will say goodbye to you for the week. I hope you have an awesome, incredible week and a great weekend. And I'll see you next week on Monday. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.